Hey everybody, welcome to Adulting Co, or the Adulting Company, whatever you call it. My name is Ayomide.
I'm Olamide.
Yeah. And yes, this is Adulting Co, or the Adulting Company, where we talk about adulting. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, even before you watch it. Like it, share it. Yeah.
Yes, please.
So today, as the topic suggests, we're going to be talking about how we were not cool kids. We were not. We're not coming here to claim that we are cool kids. No, but we have a league of our own. We have created a niche, and yes, they're wonderful. But like when we were growing up, at some point, it was the definition of rats, not by choice.
We were not that bad now. We were just a little rough on. Just a little
Exactly,
rough on
but our mind was right. It was correct. You understand it? It was correct. And I think at the end of the day, and summary of the story is going to be, it's not by how you look outside. Please, essence inside. Right? So I guess we can quickly say this. We grew up not in Nigeria, not where we are originally from. And I love all my Kenyan people out there. God bless you. But during the growing up stage, to be very honest, if we're those kind of people who are like moved by peer pressure and everything, we would have spent the rest of our lives crying and being sad and feeling left out, because there was a lot of being left out, right? And I think before we even go into this story, Kuku, there was something I was thinking about when we moved here, where I am now, right now to India. In my mind, I was just thinking that maybe if I died, that's when my classmates would notice that, I'm there. And then maybe that thing where you actually want to be, you feel like recognized, like, people actually know that you exist or actually care about you, right? Because you grow up with, and this could be like a Twitter thread. It's just that we're not the type of people who are going to make Twitter thread out of it. But technically, this is a whole Twitter thread dealing with rejection and childhood, something, right? I mean, maybe we should do that. But yeah. So when we were growing up, I think the main thing was in terms of dressing. That was honestly the main thing. And because it was like, young children, even now, honestly, some people judge it based on how you dress. But like, we were not too sure. Please come and tell us how we were not too sure. We should come and start to be sure. Everybody was razzed when they were small, so they don't even come and tell me anything. But be like, say our own, because of our environment, was like,
I mean, it was nothing major, just those oversized shirts and the baggy specs. Listen, it wasn't that bad. Insert picture. Definitely, what you said is true, and I dare say that people who, I'm just going to say it as it is. So I feel like, honestly speaking, it's immature for you to judge someone based on how they dress to the extent that you're unwilling to interact with them beyond their dressing. And I know that it sounds very like old people-ish to say, but the truth of the matter is that a lot of times people miss out on interesting friendships, interesting interactions, because you're so caught up in, oh, the person doesn't dress like me. I will not lie to you. I went through a phase where I was also feeling like, oh, these people, like, they don't look, you get, because there'll always be somebody who is less than you, and there's always going to be someone ahead of you. And so when I used to see the ones who are ahead of me, they made me feel like, oh, I didn't belong with them. And then when I saw the ones behind me,
like, why are you coming? I'm trying to aim for these people. You are not trying to stress me. What is that?
That way, I'm going forward, please. This is not the direction. And so, like, I went through a phase where, like, I would probably be snobbish to them or dodge them, run away from them, not really want to be seen in public and associate with them because they didn't look cool, they didn't look touche. But then at a point, I began to, as more of these experiences happened to me, and I began to see what it felt like to be left out. Funny enough, I remember growing up, like there would be all those older kids that I wanted to talk to, but then they really never had anything to say to me, and they would always treat me like a small child. And so, like, I made the conscious effort now growing up that I would still try and interact with people who are younger than me. However, now that I'm older, I can understand why those older people seem snobbish to me. They were not really snobbing me; they were just dealing with their own things in life.
Or they
Because
were
now,
awkward.
or they were awkward, they could be awkward. That's another thing. And so, like, I've made the effort intentionally to always be able to hold the conversation with people. So if you see me not talking, I really don't want to talk. Not that I don't have the capacity to, because to be honest with you, talking drains quite a bit from me. It takes some effort on my part. It's a different thing if I'm talking in the screen like this. That's not an issue. But then when it comes to actually talking to people or with people, it's a different thing. But where I'm going with this whole story that is winding is that it's immature for you to decide that, oh, I'm not going to talk to this person. Because I know that I was an interesting person in those days with my oversized t-shirts and big pants and funny shoes. Doesn't matter, but I knew that I had something to offer. And those who were willing to, I don't want to call names, the people
I know them. We know you.
have to go beyond how we look like everybody else. We didn't do the nail polish. We didn't have the accent. We weren't the ones who were
They
talking
used to use attachment then, no. You didn't use attachment very rarely.
Just your hair. Do you get? So like we didn't look tush according to the standards in those days, which looking back now they're silly because at the end of the day everybody's going back.
Hair? Like who pop hair? You know, it's not by force. Like
everybody's going back to natural hair now. Everybody is wearing skirts and sneakers when we were doing it. And I always say it's when we were doing it, we've been doing skirts and sneakers for years, but people used to judge us. They thought we were not cool. Now it's fashion. But
in case you're looking for who started the concept of skirts and sneakers, look no further.
We know ourselves. We know ourselves. Do you get? So at the end of the day, the time to get to know us beyond our outward appearance. They discovered friends in us, until today we are still friends over all those years. The ones that decided to do guy, and sorry for those who are not Nigerians, do guy is like the ones who decided to be proud and not interact with us. At the end of the day, it doesn't it doesn't really make a difference. Maybe there's something we could have gained from knowing each other and interacting with each other today, but as that did not happen, we move. You get? So at the end of the day, the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes we get so caught up when we're growing up, right? We get so caught up in people's appearance, in that wanting to fit in a particular class of people, that we end up missing out on opportunities. Because just because somebody is in a high class does not mean that they are mentally high class. Trust me. So like the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes I caught up, and it's a sign of immaturity. But as you grow up and maturity is now coming to that place where you begin to realize that there's so much more to people. I'm not saying that everybody that looks cheesy or shady on the outside is smart inside. No, there are people who are inside and out, they just don't get it.
Yeah. And I think that thing, it actually can like flow into you like you're growing up or you're adulting and stuff, because it's even now, please, there's still some people who will not associate with you because you don't use makeup. You know, you might think it's subtle, but it's there. And yes, let's not lie, all of us have done it, where you're just like, you don't look the part. I don't want you in my pictures. That's how the time when we were younger. We're doing birthday picture. I was Princess' birthday, and there was this girl. She was bald. This was angry. She said, I don't want a bald person in my picture.
Like I had parts that were smart, but some parts were just dumb. Like looking back, I'm like, I was dumb. Like what?
Right? And so, so you're like looking at somebody because remember there's a time my mom were remembering these things. I was just laughing. Like, it was hilarious. And my mom just kept going on and I was like, no, now why will they associate with you? When you are looking like this, when you are looking, I'm like, stop. Like, just stop right now. Because to be honest, you know the thing when you have like maybe one or two pair of jeans skirts. People did not used to wear jeans skirts. What was that? I remember when we were leaving Kenya, someone was like, that's one thing that I remember about us is how we used to wear skirts, like jean skirts. I'm like, okay, that's nice. At least they remember us for something, right? And so even when, to be honest, I only started like actually dressing nicely. Some people might not think it's nice, but I know it's nice. So yeah, whatever. But like I only started dressing nicely in high school. Like, so after I left high school almost, because like in high school you don't even need that many clothes. You wear your uniform and you go your way. But like the consciousness started in high school. But before I was those combos of clothing. And obviously I was going through my own stuff, but fam, only what they say, no. Because at the end of the day, we're not saying that okay, it's about your inside, not about your outside, that you should not come and be please. But especially when it comes to, at least one thing we answer ourselves, when it comes to smelling nice, please smell nice. Thank you. But I mean, it was actually very hilarious.
The whole concept of adulting, like we keep on saying, it's not just about, oh, you moving out of your house or you earning money or you paying bills. It's that mindset where you begin to be able to understand correctly. Because what is maturity, what is wisdom, is application of knowledge correctly. It's one thing for you to know in your head that you're not supposed to be snobbish towards anybody. I personally believe that snobbishness is immaturity. Grow up, you actually will grow up. Because so it's one thing for you to know that snobbishness is immaturity. It's another thing for you to actually take the effort to stop being snobbish. Because you know the funny thing is, like, I go to places these days and I'm dealing with 20-something, 30-something year old people still giving me some very childish attitude. And then so sometimes you'd have that situation where it's like, oh, okay, somewhere along the line they'll hear that you didn't grow up in Nigeria, and then all of a sudden the attention shifts. Like, please
very
grow
mature.
up. No, but so because I don't have the face, like I don't put the makeup on, and
we don't have a broad face, so
we don't have a broad face. We didn't remember that we're supposed to pick up the accent. We should have come back with the accent.
This is the moment where we'll just change everything. This is the moment that it happened. Like something just fell from the sky, and now we've changed. Okay.
Oh no, so we're gonna do this thing where, like, remember there was this lady who said that, oh, she woke up one morning and she woke up with an accent. So now I woke up with an accent, and so from now on I'm gonna be speaking like this so that you would know that I didn't grow up in Nigeria, so you can give me more attention, whatever shenanigans.
Attention.
We can't be doing that. You get? And so at the end of the day, even as you're going through this, your adulting journey, and we're all stuck up on money, but let's take a moment and switch it up from money. Let's talk about how you interact with people, how you treat people. If you are not getting past that, oh, this person, their color combination looks like this, like that. I'm not talking about even like we always keep on saying, smelling nice. So yeah, if somebody smells not nice and you're in a position to lovingly emphasis
please don't be rude.
Correct them, then by all means do. But you see, like, if it's some of those things, like the person is not smelling, they just probably wear baggy on baggy, which these days now is even fashion. At the end of the day, I feel like all those things that they were judging us for back then, now everybody is doing it and it's cool.
You understand?
And so at the end of the day, the point of that shift from that place of, oh, wanting to be in a particular class, wanting to be among a particular group of people, whether it is because even those of us that didn't grow up in Nigeria and come back to Nigeria, sometimes subconsciously we pull away from people who are the typical Nigerians, and then we go find ourselves in a place and all clump together. Because to be honest with you, sometimes the Nigerian mindset can be frustrating, and I get that. However, we have to come to the place where we're able to understand that no, we can't just keep on sticking to particular people that are our taste. Yeah, we have like, but then move out of that. Come on, grow up. The whole point of becoming is you being able to be mature and to make an impact in your society. And you can't make an impact in your society if you just stick to the same set of people that are like you, that are cool like you. No, it doesn't make any
sense. And you might not even be that cool.
Sorry. You might not even be as cool as you think you are. Trust me, there's always somebody who's way cooler than you that is going to despise you.
And I think the concept of cool was, it was just based on what we watched mostly. Because who said, I remember one time, this is a very weird story. One time when I was in the first high school I went to, I was wearing my uniform and I was wearing sneakers. And I was eating a chocolate bar or chocolate wafer. And this girl in my class is like, oh, you look so cool with your sneakers and eating it. I'm just like, Thanks. Well, where did that concept of cool come from? Like, why is that supposed to be cool? Like, who says that's cool? You get somebody in, I don't know, I won't mention any place because I'm not even trying to shade anybody, might also be wearing sneakers and eating chocolate bar, but because they're not in air condition, they're not cool. Right? So where did we get the concept of cool from? You get, and apart from the teenage shows, there are still things that are pushing that concept now. Hence why there are adults whose mind is just, they don't get sense. I'm sorry. Because when you say somebody does not have sense, it's not an insult too.
Yeah,
Not an insult. It's just a challenge for you to start doing things better. Right. But like it's just, I feel it's media. A lot of it is media, to be very honest, where you're pushing this is cool and this is not. So now the thing has changed. Having natural hair is the right thing to do. Having your hair relaxed is a bad thing. So if you keep following what the world system is telling you is cool and not cool, you're going to just be, you'll be shaving your hair, growing it back, cutting it, dyeing it, coloring it, this one. Okay, continue. You will be fine.
Yeah, so I think like what would determine that you've successfully come into that place of adulting is when you're comfortable in your own skin, comfortable with your own self as and accepting yourself, not from a place of mediocrity. Because you see, this one of don't judge me, oh, this is how I am, that's just a place where people like to hide and keep their bad habits. But a place where you come to understand who you are as a person, you're working towards being the best version of yourself, but then you're not putting realistic demands on yourself, you're not pushing yourself harder, you're not trying to keep up with no Jones, but you're just who you are and being the best version of yourself. So I feel like when you come to that place, then you can probably say, okay, this is like 100% success in adulting. And this is not even us trying to set perfection standards or anything. But for as long as you're trying to be cool, you're trying to fit in with a particular group of people, you fail to be your authentic self. Because even thinking back to us and our lack of coolness in those days, it wasn't like we were, what's the word? I don't want to use the word that is coming to my mind. It's not like we were, I don't want to use that word. It's not that that was what we were, but then at the end of the day, we were reading a lot of books. We were still exposed. It's just that that cool space and looking like everybody. And to be honest with you, something that I always say is that peer pressure has nothing on me. Because if I was able to be who I was, in spite of everything that was around me, it's not today that somebody is going to tell me anything about myself that is going to make me decide I want to start changing myself. No, dear, because I've come from far. I've experienced worse ostracization for being the way I was. And so like point that can't affect me. It just really can't affect me anymore. So like a lot of people even see me today and they don't believe that I'm Yoruba. Like if I tell you I'm Yoruba, you have back and forth. Oh, you look northerner, you look this, you look that. I don't even have it. Somebody threw me out of the country and was like, oh, you look Ghanaian. And I'm like, hey, okay, that's a new one. But at the end of the day, I'm totally fine with it because that way you have to get to know me as a person. You can't stereotype me because I don't fit in any box. And I'm really, truly grateful for the fact that I wasn't able to fit in any one mold. And so I don't do those group things. I remember in uni, I had this friend that would want me to be with her and be with her only. I'm like, dear, no, it doesn't work like that. I don't know how to have just one type of, like, my friends, trust me, I had all the way from hippie friends to proper, like, typical Indian friends to the Americanized, all of them. Why? Because all those experiences in life, they pushed me to the place where I was able to now become a unique individual who obviously flows with everybody. And so like that, for me, that's something that I'm grateful for, that now in my adulthood, I look back and I'm like, yeah, it was well grounded. And also another thing I wanted to say is that because I didn't have the opportunity to focus on all those externalities, I didn't have the option to be sitting down and going over which outfits or this one, that, it made me focus on other things. So I played as a child, I read books as a child, I did all the important stuff. And so now is when I'm coming to that place and I'm more balanced now. So like there's not as more a chance of, did I just say that? There's not as high a chance of me going.
You were reading the wrong books. You were reading the wrong books, my dear.
There's
Sorry.
a chance of me going overboard with anything, whether it be now dressing, because that thing you get, we've already mastered it, so to speak. And so, like, I'm not being controlled by those things. So that's not what is doing me. Right now, what is doing me is not whether somebody sees me and I don't have makeup on my face, I don't look touche, I don't look this, I don't look that. What dear? Can't accept me like this, then you're not my person. So
just dump your face inside powder and mascara and everything. Oh yeah, took me. But I think like it doesn't even make sense to pattern your life after someone who hasn't figured out their own life. Like
that's true.
they don't know. This person will change their mind next year. You now be there carrying it on yeah, this is it, this is it.
Yes.
No problem. All the best. All the very best. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you're in that space right now where you feel like you're not a cool kid and everything, we're not saying don't work on yourself. There's some things that are just borderline. Smell nice, thank you. But I said smell nice again. Well, we're all about this. Brought to you by the Scent Company. I feel like there's a company called that, right? Anyway, but like beyond just looking nice and beyond looking cool and beyond wearing this because everybody's wearing this. Because when you now grow up, you realize that there are some clothing items that are important. They're not necessarily in vogue. It's not ripped jeans that you need the first thing in your wardrobe. Go and buy black skirt or black trouser. That is what you need.
Exactly.
But if you like, start with what is in vogue. When they change it, one time it used to be Tom Brown, they used to call it Abby, bell bottoms. The next is pencil. The next is bell again. If you like, don't go and buy normal clothes. It's okay. The Lord will help you. But like, yeah, if you're in that position where you feel like you're not the cool kid, okay, fine, look inward. Also ask sensible people that you know, okay, how do you think I could improve myself, right? You don't want to be asking people who are watching High School Musical, how should I improve myself?
I borrow money to buy clothes. Don't ask those kind of people.
Exactly. But yes, do work on yourself. But beside the external, work on your mental faculty, work on yourself, into your values, your character, how you treat people. Your work with God, please, that's more important. And you will realize that you now start to understand things better. It is maybe if you read something sensible, watch something sensible, not nonsense. So that's when you get a clothing idea, right? Because if you're watching nonsense, you wear nonsense. Anyway, sorry. And if you're in the position where you think that, oh, you're the cool kid, nobody can talk to you, we greet you personally. Thank you. I hope you have a prosperous future. I bet they don't do that to your children. In Jesus' name. Yeah, but like that's also now work on yourself also. Because as I was talking to a friend, poverty mindset, for example, is not just about whether you have money or not. You can be rich and have the poverty mindset. You can be poor and have the poverty mindset. So you can have this cool kid syndrome and you're cool. Fine, agreed, you're cool. But inside is nonsense. Inside is nonsense. And even if you're intelligent inside, even if you're smart inside, if you don't know how to treat people properly, sorry, even the Bible says, if I don't have love, that's what is the point? What is actually the point?
You're just making noise in people's ears.
Making noise. So I think I'll let you say the final word before we close this episode.
So we were definitely not cool kids, and I don't necessarily think that we're cool kids now either. But
and we're okay with that.
We're okay with that. Please don't
You're watching us, so it's okay.
You're watching us. We turned out okay. We turned out all right.
Because it was just that sense of like I don't know, High School Musical vibes. Like, you're not cool. Like, you're not like you just don't look nice. So I don't want to talk to you. Like,
legit.
I think we're also influenced. People were influenced by what they watched. I mean, we wanted to.
That's literally what I was going to say. It's like that influence of all those like American teen shows that there's a lot of unnecessary junk that we into our systems.
Like the other day, I will not even mention the movie, whatever production thing, but you know those movies where when the celebrity, I was seeing this meme or post, whatever, when celebrity characters are introduced and then they now turn, it's like, oh, I'm like, cringe. Now that you look back, it was actually cringe. It was actually, when
saw
It's
that.
bad.
But people felt like they were the coolest thing after sliced bread. Like people literally wanted to be those characters. And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's like, so now growing up, a lot of people, I mean, I don't know, some people are still carrying those mindsets into their adulthood. Other people are trying to, what's the word I would use, detoxify themselves from those
Yeah.
concepts, get caught up in being yourself and becoming mature, becoming the best version of yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we have some interesting stuff coming up, like in regard to that, in terms of emotional intelligence and all that good stuff, coaching, blah, 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 blah. We're still working on it, but yes, we have stuff coming up. Eh. So yes, please don't get caught up in trying to be a cool kid. Try instead a mature kid. You should be
Mm.
kids. I'm not a cool kid. I'm a mature kid. Please watch this space.
Girl, stop! You pay me
Shameless
for
plug.
this advert. Pay me for this.
So yes, I mean, work on being the mature kid. Trust me, it'll take you further
Yeah.
than the cool kids thing would. So
Definitely, definitely. So this is two not so cool kids, but who are fine with it and who are making moves. Saying, please don't forget again to subscribe to our channel. It's what cool kids do. You know, it's very cool to subscribe. You know, feeling good. Take a screenshot of me subscribing, screen recording. Hi, just subscribe to Adulting Company.
actually,
Yeah.
we'll put you up on Instagram if you do.
So please subscribe, please share, please like. Share it with someone that you think is cool. Share it with somebody that you don't think is cool. In case you're trying to suddenly tell somebody, please smell nice. Share it with them also. You know, you don't know who's that might help, and follow us on Instagram at _adulting_. Cool. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye.